Hey, hello everybody. How are you? Man, we got some exciting things happening around here at the Eternal Leadership Podcast. Welcome to my headquarters here. And we are starting and we're getting into what we are calling season 3. And I just wanted to share with you that Steve Ryder and I'm going to try to bring Steve Ryder live here on the broadcast. Add Steve. Adding, it says it's adding, connecting. Hey, Steve Ryder, welcome, brother.
Man.
Now I don't hear you. Your video just froze up. But hey, can we hear you? Let me hear your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, dude, loud and clear.
Awesome.
So, Steve, oh my goodness. Well, Steve and I met. He was the first person that got to me at my accident to put me in the hospital for 2 years. He was there when God showed up at the accident, and he could tell that he was in the presence of the Lord at the time, couldn't you? It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was scary, yet at the same time, though, in the middle of everything, when it was the most hairy, there was this crazy peace that just permeated the whole area. And a few of us that were praying for you really felt it. A couple other people that weren't praying really thought, oh no, he's going into shock, it's getting worse. And I could just see your body just relax, and you almost had a little bit of a smile. It was despite all the pain that you were in.
So so from that auspicious beginning of Steve and I's friendship, we've just become brothers from another mother. And as we honestly just explored what we wanted to do, we so appreciate everybody that's been part of this Eternal Leadership podcast and this community. Because what happened was, just to bring everybody back a little bit, Steve and I just kept sharing our heart about how do we help people just step into the fullness of what they were meant to do and actually do it in their work and their life, be successful, financially and in business and with their relationships and grow in their faith. And it was out of that the entire idea for the podcast was birthed and launched. And do you believe, Steve, we're up to 200 episodes now? And Inc. magazine wrote us up as top 12 podcast to listen to. We're the only Christian-based podcast in that. So huge shout out and thank you to everyone out there that's a listener that's been a huge part of that. And that's why we're really excited to talk about what's coming up next. Right, Steve? We're moving into a whole new season of where we see this community and this podcast going.
We have spent more time in the last, I want to say, probably month and a half and 2 months kind of brainstorming, talking, doing those kinds of things than we have since we first launched. Really.
Yeah, we sure have.
More in the last 2 months than we have in the previous 2.5 years combined.
Absolutely. So here's our vision for the next season, right? We're calling this season 3. Really, the first season was launching. The second season was really kind of growing. And now what we really want to do, and here's our vision, is to become that one place, that one resource to equip and inspire kingdom leaders, right? People that are just this, faith focused, with just practical everyday advice that they can apply really in 3 big areas that we're going to be focusing on. The first one is their business. The second one is their faith and their spiritual growth. And the second one is who they are as a person, as a leader, and their personal growth.
Hey, John.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi to Sly in Madison, Wisconsin, the guy that really got me into radio. Sly, you rule. I see John Garfield, our former guest, 2-time guest. John Dale, Keith Valenzuela. So thanks for coming up.
Yeah, John is awesome. And John has a picture of himself on a horse, which just gives me the willies looking at the picture. Just so you know, John. Sorry, man. So, hey, let's talk about this. So, first of all, first category is business, right? How do we, we want to be that place where you guys are getting answers. And if you look at Steve and myself, and we're bringing on this amazing woman, you're about to meet her next, Sandra Crawford Williamson. We just did a podcast episode. She's been on a couple other times, but go listen to the episode that came out this Tuesday and hear more. But between the 3 of us, experiencing basically going through every phase of business, from trying to figure out what's next, to starting up, to filing bankruptcy, which I had to do when I started my first company back in, to moving all the way up and being in the C-suite. Sandra has been through that whole journey, all the way from startups all the way through C-suite. Steve's in the middle of He's just been an incredible entrepreneur. So we want to share, whether it's building incredible teams, how to hire people, how to make more money, to grow, to create great cultures. So all of these areas of business we're absolutely going to be focusing on. And we want you to ask us the questions, because that's what's going to drive what we are putting in the podcast and in Facebook and in our blog posts. And the second area is in the area of faith. And what are we going to be focusing on there, Steve?
With faith, we're going to be talking a whole lot about just deepening your faith, getting over limiting self-beliefs and the things that are really blocking you from really truly living out what you cognitively here believe, but there's something kind of blocking in between your spirit and your head.
Yeah, absolutely. And the third area is in just the area of who we are as a person. How do we show up as our best selves? Our identity, our limiting beliefs, our values. How do we really connect and get our real self in alignment with our ideal self, if that makes sense, right? So a lot of this is, I really think our inner game determines our outer game. And a lot of what you're going to be hearing is that inner game, because that is really, I believe, foundational. It's why I'm a coach. That's what I work on with all my clients, on how to massively accelerate some of the results that they get. So Steve, with that said, what I'd like to do is drop you off, and I want to bring on Sandra and just introduce her to everybody, if I can figure out how to do this. All right?
I'll X myself out.
All right, here. Okay, so Sandra, I can't see how to bring you on, my friend. Let's see. Steve Ryder's watching. There's Sandra. Let's see if I can invite her on. I think I might have figured it out. It says Sandy cannot join the broadcast at this time. Well, I was going to introduce you guys to Sandra Crawford Williamson. Evidently, Facebook has a problem with something that doesn't work for me. So anyway, guys, here's our call to action for you. We are all here, this incredible team. You can hear more about Sandra on the podcast episode that came out this week. But right down below in the comments, please, I want you to just post anything. Tell us something about yourself. Post a picture about yourself. Ask us any question around business, faith, personal growth, marriage, relationships. We're going to get back to you. I'll guarantee you we've probably already created a resource. We're going to let you know what that is. But the feedback and the input from you is what's going to be driving the content that Sandra and Steve and myself are creating going forward. So just remember, go right down below, make a comment. And guys, thank you so much for being part of this community. We love y'all, and we can't wait to hear from you. Have an awesome day. God bless. Have a great weekend. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.